Hello, all my chickadees. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, I know I said 12, but it's still the 12 o'clock range. This is close enough, right? Oh, goodness. Yeah, I kind of overslept, even though I set several alarms. My cat decided to wake me up over and over and over throughout the night, so I didn't sleep well. But I'm very excited to jump back into our adventures of the Divine Speaker, and I hope you guys are too. And I'm going to be back onto the every Wednesday we stream for right now. And I will let you guys know if something happens to those plans like last time. But here we go, guys. Like, looking at our menu here, I just noticed this is Fawn, isn't it? And this is the redhead guy we met in town, so we know who these two guys are. And I think this one's us. And that's the Divine Speaker, isn't it? He's all the way over here by himself, but it's called the Divine Speaker. I have so many questions, but we're gonna get them answered as we get farther along in it, surely. But all right. Where's our save? I saved it. I know I saved it. Load. Oh no. Oh, auto. Okay. Okay. Whew. Oh, yay. Okay, so the auto does save it in different parts. Okay. Oh, thank goodness. I like that. Okay, so it's going in reverse. So this would be our last one. Oh man, I was scared there for a second. Yukiji baby. That is so cute. I love how he's got like long sleeves going on. He looks like such a baby like that. Hello, Aurelia. Welcome in. We are just getting started. Oh, he has like a little drawing mannequin right there. All right. Where did we leave off? I forgot what happened right before this. But here we go. Before he could finish speaking, Fawn is also your favorite so far, I see. Yes. I mean, look at him. He's so cute. The long sleeves are, you know, that's got me. That's got me. Before he could finish speaking, a rustling sound came from outside. It was slowly getting closer. Closer until... Uh-oh.
Ah!
It's animals! What are you, Snow White? I jumped out of my seat. In the door came a fox, a raccoon, 2 birds, and a few animals I'd never seen before. Yep, he's Snow White. Look at that. Look at that sugar glider. Arms extended and he jumping. That is adorable.
Guys, you're back.
I looked over at Fawn. Obviously, this didn't surprise him. He bent down and pet all the animals, giving them nuts and berries as he went. I couldn't help but stare at the soft smile he had on his face.
Raen, these are my friends. We've lived together for years now. I'm sorry they gave you a fright. I'll tell them to come in quietly next time.
Do they understand
That's
you?
not really the problem, I guess.
He leant down further and started whispering to them.
You can talk to them?
Of course. Sometimes they don't do what I tell them, though. They must be going through a rebellious phase.
Oh my goodness. I mean, with the way Disney's going, he could be casted. Okay, let's. He could be voted in as a Disney prince. So we can't talk to them then. I didn't say anything though. There's no point upsetting him.
Then I really am the only person you've seen out here. You've been alone since you were a child?
Oh, also, is the voice levels for the characters good? Can you hear them clearly?
Yes. I'm sorry I ran from you. I didn't know what to do when I saw you at the river. And it takes me a bit to think through what I'm saying in my head. I'm not used to talking to other people.
Oh, he's got his quitters. He's not used to talking to actual people that can talk back. Oh. I look at the floor in embarrassment when I remember jumping on him, wet and nearly naked.
In the forest, I saw an arm. A dead body. I had to wash it off of myself.
I glanced back up at Fawn.
I spent the night running and then slept under a tree. I have absolutely no clue where I am.
Oh, you can hear it good? Oh, okay, thank you.
I don't know how you can live here. It's terrifying.
He stayed silent for a few seconds. I guess he was thinking through what he was going to say.
I can see why you would think that. The forest around here is dangerous, but
He stopped for a moment.
it can be beautiful too. The beauty is hiding danger, but the danger is also hiding beauty.
I stared at him. Earlier, I did think it was beautiful for a while. So maybe he's right. Still, I would much rather be back in the place we left.
I see what you mean, but I'm not looking forward to spending another night out there. I wish there was somewhere else to go.
Fawn tilted his head.
There's a bunch of places you could go. Oxaber, Stagwitch, Duskmoor, Sidcaeum, Duick. They're all pretty close to here. The last time I checked anyway.
My ears perked up at one of the things Fawn mentioned.
Sidcaeum? What is that?
Oh, that's what's in the book we read.
It's the... what do you call it? The capital?
Really?
The capital? The capital of what?
Of the region, I suppose.
Honestly, I had no clue what he was blathering on about. Capital of the region? What region? The pink means that we can read it in the book. Fawn described Sidcaeum as the capital of the region. The books in the Speaker's Archive also mention the place. What does that mean? That you are from a cult and they did not let you guys know things. Oh yeah, we need to read over some more stuff here. But right now we're gonna keep playing. Outside, the sun was slowly disappearing and the night was filling up with stars. I stared outside for a moment, dreading going back. Last night? It was terrifying, but what choice do I have?
I guess I better head off now, before it gets too dark to see where I'm going. Thank you for the food and water. I don't know what I would have done without you there.
I got up slowly and made my way towards the ladder.
Wait!
My hand was suddenly clasped from behind before I could start climbing down.
Why don't you stay here tonight?
Yes, please. It is terrifying outside.
Really? Would that be okay?
Yeah, my bed's only small, but I can sleep on the floor tonight.
Oh, no, I couldn't. You take the bed. I'm happy to sleep on the floor. It's much better than outside like last night.
Yeah, he's like, I would happily sleep on the floor. Just don't put me outside. It's really terrifying out there.
Really, I don't mind.
We both looked at each other for a moment before breaking out in laughter. This could go back and forth forever with the two of us.
How about we just share the bed then? I think we'd both fit.
Well, they little boys. Hopefully they both fit. Fawn lit up again, as red as a rose.
I've never...
He glanced around, not making eye contact with me, fidgeting and playing with his clothes. Aww. Oh yeah, I want to ask, do you still want to date our long-haired cult leader? He is pretty. Okay, he is very pretty. You can't deny that. But he kicked us out. He didn't hear our side of the story and he kicked us out. And he knows about our father for some reason. If he can turn his character around, yes. Yes, we can. We will. But right as of the moment, no. And I'm not really happy with the red-haired guy either. I forgot his name. Because he's the one that told us to go there. Like, oh yeah, it's open for only today. You can go in there and look at the archives. No problem. And that's what got us arrested because it's forbidden. So they're both in my bad books at the moment. Fawn's the leader. You're really calling Fawn little? Okay, he does look the same height as, Raen. Okay. I can call him little. How tall is he? He's not. Look, they're like the same height. He might be like an inch taller than him, but look, he looks like he'd be a baby. Okay, he'd be a baby you cuddle. I can call him little. Okay. Okay. Back on track.
Shared a bed with anyone before?
Was that something to be embarrassed about? Oh, maybe he's worried I pushed him out of bed? Oh my god, Raen, how innocent are you, my child? Oh, Raen doesn't see it, and Fawn definitely sees it. He's like, oh, share a bed with this cute guy. And Rain's just like, oh yeah, I share bed all the time with the orphans at the orphanage. Nothing's bad about it. We can just pile on in together. Oh
no. Don't worry. I'll make sure not to take up too much room. I grew up in an orphanage, so I'm used to sharing beds and stuff.
I called it. At the word orphanage, he stopped and looked in my eyes.
You didn't know your parents?
No. Did you?
He looked away again.
No.
Oh, he orphaned too. He didn't look like he wanted to talk about it, so I didn't press him.
I'm not mad at my parents or anything, though. I had a good family at the orphanage. The judgment I received wasn't particularly good, so that's probably why it happened.
He's very innocent. They don't tell you about smecks until you're of age, so he doesn't know anything. Oh, Raen doesn't know nothing about it, but he's of age now. He's of age now. Did he just not get the talk yet? Because, I mean, okay, it was like he became of age, and then immediately, like the same freaking day, he got in trouble and exiled. So, oh my god. Oh no, this poor little baby, the little cinnamon bun. He's so innocent.
Judgment?
We both share another confused look. They are from two different words and they barely understand each other. Had being out here alone really made him forget the most simple things?
Yeah, you know, the judgment you receive the day you're born from the divine speaker. My fate wasn't very impressive, apparently.
You learn your fate the day you're born?
Of course. Everyone does.
They don't do that where I'm from.
Yeah, definitely a little confused.
If you're not tired, there's something I'd like to show you.
I'm feeling a little tired, honestly, but if he's letting me stay here tonight, then I don't mind following him around for a little while.
Sure. I'm not tired anyway.
He says, like a liar. His face lit up with a wide, innocent smile filled with excitement.
It's not that far from here. Follow me.
Fawn basically bounced out of the room, down the ladder, and onto the forest floor. I followed after him, not quite sure where he was heading. He's so excited to share something with another human. Oh, I get it. Remember when we met him in the forest and he was like, oh yeah, I share it with some of my friends. These are his friends. His friends are critters, so he doesn't have another human. Oh. It was his 18th birthday, so no, he didn't get to talk. Nope. He shall remain pure and innocent until otherwise notified. Oh, speaking of that subject, I found out there is a stream mode for this game, which is amazing, which means if we get to a spicy part, it will cover the images, but the text will be the same. So I don't have to worry about issues with YouTube, but I would like to go back and re-record them for with the images and share maybe on Patreon and stuff because I'm curious. But that's good to know. We won't be because I got in so much trouble with Mannequin Academy and the Symbiont. But okay, I got off topic again. Goodness. Let's see where he's taking us. Where you going, baby? I followed Fawn for a few minutes before he stopped in his tracks, peered out between the trees.
We're here. Follow me carefully.
He started climbing down the shallow slope with ease. I watched him for a moment, but he came to a conclusion that it didn't look too difficult. Apparently, I was very wrong.
What?
The ground slipped out from under me, rocks rolling down the slope. Before I could slip over, Fawn reached out and grabbed my hand.
Careful! It can be a little slippery here. Keep holding my hand, and we'll go down together.
If we go down, then we go down together. That's a song, right? I watched the ground more carefully this time, embarrassed that I slipped up after he warned me. With Fawn's hand strong against mine, we descended slowly, and we eventually got to the bottom of the steep hill.
It's here. Look.
We parted the last of the tree branches that stood in our way. Whoa. There's so many stars. That is really pretty. Come on, I know every one of y'all would love to go just walk out and see this. That's how you can tell you're not close to civilization. The scene before me was right out of a fairy tale. A large lake was spread out in front of my eyes, the night sky brimming with stars as far as I could see. In the darkness of the night, the lake became a mirror. It reflected those stars right back at the sky, not to be outdone.
It's beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. Back home, I never would have known this existed.
A million words spun around in my mind, but I didn't know where to start. Who knew something like this could exist? Oh, that's cute. Yes, I'm gonna say cute a bazillion times and none of you can stop me. Oh, we see his hands. Oh, he's holding our hand still. Look, look, look. I see it. I see it. That water, like, being reflected, it looks like magical. See, the forest is not a scary place whenever you have someone with you that knows where you are. I sat down with Fawn, entranced by the scene and laid out before me.
I thought you might like it. You see, this lake's full of all kinds of fish. Mostly the kind that would like to eat you for dinner.
And that's the cue to take your feet out of the pond? He giggled a little, that joy-filled smile returning to his face.
But that doesn't stop it from being beautiful. The world isn't just black and white. There's things in the middle, too. And I think this forest is one of those things. You didn't look very convinced earlier, so I just wanted to show you that even a dangerous place like this can be somewhere you can call home. It's all about how you look at it, your perspective on things.
He realized where his hand was. He quickly withdrew his hand from mine. I forgot he was even holding it.
This is a pretty big lake, though. It's strange that it's not on the map.
I haven't seen a map in a while, so I'm not sure.
He was crimson red from the top of his ears to his chin, like a tomato. Silently, we sat side by side. We watched the fish just below the surface, the stars that almost seemed to be dancing around us. But secretly, I watched Fawn's profile. The moon made his pale skin look even paler, as if he was glowing. Maybe it's a strange thought, but it was almost as if he was part of the forest. He fit in perfectly. As much as the trees, the fish, the stars, he belonged. When he caught me staring, he looked away in embarrassment.
Anyway, let's head back now. It'll start to get cold soon.
Right. I'll try not to slip over this time.
As soon as we got back, a wave of exhaustion passed over me. Without delay, I started prepping for bed. Everything caught up to me at once. It really had been a long day. I rolled up my sleeve and looked again at the mark that ran down my arm. I suppose there's no point in hiding it from them. Is there? He's bound to find out one way or another, and I feel like I can trust him.
Hey, Fawn?
He looked over at me with sleepy eyes.
I wanted to show you something. Yesterday, when I was still in Aurelia Cavella, it suddenly appeared on my arm. It hurt, like it was being burnt into my skin.
I lifted up my arm and showed it to him.
I've seen this writing somewhere before.
With speed, he rushed to my side and grabbed my arm. He brought it close, examining my markings. Well, he's awake now.
Before it was here, I've definitely seen this somewhere.
I watched him excitedly, but to no avail. No matter how hard he thought, it wasn't coming back to him.
I'm sorry. How did it happen?
I'm not sure. One minute I was in a crowd of people completely fine, and then I was suddenly in so much pain, I blacked out. And when I woke up, it was there. Maybe it's not important.
He watched me carefully, thinking.
It sounds important to me. I'll keep thinking about it. Maybe it'll come back to me in the morning, after we rest. Turn around while I get ready for bed.
Fawn got into bed first and hid himself under the covers. Quickly, I shuffled in next to him. It was a tight squeeze, seeing as the bed was only made for a single person, but we had enough space to avoid touching. I scooted over, giving him more room.
Why are you out here anyway?
Fawn glanced at me from over his shoulder, back still facing me.
They
sent me out here to die. I tried to think up an excuse. Anything would do, really, but there wasn't any to give.
I got exiled. I went somewhere I shouldn't have gone. Honestly, I thought I'd be dead by now. We've always had it drilled into us that you can't survive out here. But for some reason, it's not quite as bad as I thought it would be.
Fawn smiled at me sleepily before turning back over and drifting off to sleep. It didn't take long for me to follow after him.
Open your eyes. Protect. Heal. Destiny. Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
Okay, mysterious lady. You need to give us clearer instructions, okay? Please. I woke up with a start, sweating and shaking. My heart was beating hard in my chest, and the sound echoing through my head. Oh, we scared him awake. Fawn sat up at the speed of light, jumping to his feet.
What is it?
I took a moment to calm my breath, waiting for it to return to normal.
No, nothing. I just had a weird dream. I keep having the same one.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were dying or we were being attacked or something. But what happened in your dreams to scare you so much?
What part was scary? I thought back over it carefully. A booming voice, darkness all around me. I'm not exactly sure if it was scary to begin with. But every time they seemed to get more powerful.
I don't really know. There's voices. Loud, powerful, booming voices. They keep telling me something. To open my eyes about destiny.
Fawn stopped for a minute. Like he does occasionally when he's thinking about what to say.
Maybe it means something? It could be some kind of vision.
Vision? Things like that don't exist, though.
Really? I've heard there are some people with strange abilities, so I don't see how having visions is much different.
But we've always been taught that just forget it. I'm sure they don't mean anything.
I'm sorry. You might be right. I was just thinking out loud.
Great, now I'm not going to open my eyes just to spite you. Yes. That lady really needs to be more clear on what she's got going on. And look, technically, we are opening our eyes every time she is yelling at us because we're asleep and she's yelling at us and it scares us and we open our eyes. Instructions unclear.
You know, you don't need to apologize so much. Especially not for talking. You didn't do anything wrong.
You're right. I'm sorry. I mean... Okay.
Fawn quickly busied himself, moving around the room and preparing food. I looked outside. The sun was just starting to show in the distance, so it was still early. A light mist spread out through the trees. We ate more scavenged food and watched the sun as it rose above us. Something about it all seems too normal, like I already spent a lifetime here. The events of a few nights ago seem so distant. All that exists is now.
Raen, I was thinking. I know we've only just met. Would you like to live with me? Here?
Oh, he wants us to stay with him. He's such a cutie. He's like, I extend my home for you. Okay, hang on. Just give me a second. Okay. It's kind of chilly here, so I got me a blanket to snuggle up under. Why were you in trouble for streaming Mannequin Academy? I'm genuinely curious. Well, Mannequin Academy I didn't really get in trouble for, but I got a lot of messages saying, hey, this is 18 plus, you need to block this and stuff like that. So I had to go and change everything, but that came right after the symbiont, and I did get in trouble for symbiont. They're like, you got a flag. It's like, we flagged you for inappropriate conduct, or, inappropriate stuff, I think. And I was just like, listen, there's not a freaking not for safe scene in the symbiont because we chose the, streaming version. So I appealed it and it got revoked, so I got the strike taken down. But that kind of made me a bit worried. So that's why the Mannequin Academy is not all up on the channel right now. When I have time, I need to go back and edit it. So, edit out all the spicy stuff so it can be up for anybody to see and not be blocked by 18 plus, because 18 plus videos don't get seen as much as normal videos, and I want everybody to be able to see it. I was just really worried after, getting a strike on the symbiont that where it was like, oh, this is 18 plus, and kept going on about it, that I was going to end up with another strike. So that's why I'm trying to be careful. Yeah, the symbiont, I was playing the 13 plus version, so I don't know, but I appealed it, and they went over it again, and they're like, oh yeah, and they removed it, because they didn't send me a message about removing it. I just noticed a mark was no longer on my dashboard, so that's why I'm trying to be, like, super careful, because I don't want the channel to be, like, deleted. We're working hard. We're creating a nice little community here. So, it's just me trying to be careful. But, okay. I got me a cover. I don't have a tea because, well, I was running late. But, got me a cover, so we're going to continue and see if we accept living with him.
Seriously? You'd let me do that?
Well, I've just been here alone for a long time. I think if you left now, it would start to get a little lonely. I can teach you how to live here. Where to go, where not to go. Sorry if that's too forward. We've only just met after all. What am I thinking? Sorry.
Well, it's not like I have anywhere else to go. Like he said, he hasn't seen anyone else out here. We might as well stick together if he's offering. The only other option would be to wander around alone. I don't ever want to repeat on my first night out here alone. It's cold. Scared. Plus, he has the kind of face that makes me want to look after him. Watch him babble that is a kind of endearing.
I would be very happy to stay here with you, if you'll have me.
Really? I was sure you'd say no.
His face brightened up instantly, a smile crossing his lips. He really does want me to stay.
Then how about I show you around a bit today? Only if you want to.
If I'm really going to live here, I'll have to learn my way around. I can't just trail after Fawn forever. He's doing me enough of a favor by letting me stay.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I like that.
I ate the last of the red berries while I got dressed, the sweet taste lingering on my tongue for a while afterwards. I spent the day wandering around the forest while Fawn gave me the lay of the land. He showed me a few landmarks I could use to get back to his house if I ever got lost. I quickly learned which berries were safe to pick and which could poison you just from touching them. He said there's a lot of deadly plants around, so it's best to ask him if I'm not sure. Okay, very smart, very smart. Do not eat anything or touch anything without prior approval. It was like he knew everything. I suppose when you only have yourself to depend on, you have to be a walking encyclopedia. His eyes lit up as he explained topic after topic. It was obvious he really enjoyed having someone to talk to. It's actually a little sad that he's been alone all these years.
Oh, I kind of forgot about it before, but do you ever cook anything? I notice you've only eaten vegetables and fruits.
Cook anything?
Yeah, like on a stove. Or maybe you just use a fire. I'm actually pretty good at cooking.
No, I don't usually. Fire is... No, I usually just eat fresh food.
Oh, is he scared of fire? Or would fire, like, bring in monsters?
Huh, I see. Well, I'd love the chance to cook for you at some point.
The sun was high overhead, swimming in the vast blue sky. There wasn't a cloud in sight, yet it still felt cool as a soft breeze washed over us. We spent the day so far wandering from place to place, exploring and talking. Aurelia Cavella felt so long ago, honestly. It was fun. My chest felt light for the first time in days. Just like hanging out with a friend, it felt normal. Slowly, with all the time in the world, we've been collecting items from the riverbank we met at just yesterday. A worn blanket, slightly damp, but Fawn assures me it's still usable. A vase, the handle off of a door.
Where does all this stuff come from, anyway?
Thank you, Raen. Thank you. I was thinking the same thing. I glanced towards Fawn, who was struggling with the mountain of random objects in his arms. He dropped something, go to pick it up, then dropped 5 more things in the process. Make this boy a wheelbarrow. Please.
Give me some of those.
Thank you. As for where it all comes from...
He looked out into the distance, quiet for a moment.
I think this river connects to a large town, not far from here.
Man, that town, they dump everything in the river, don't they? Or it gets dropped in the river, or maybe there's a storm that blows things in the river. I don't know, but he gets a lot of stuff.
I guess they must dump things into the river, and they come downstream and get caught on the banks. Giving them another use is better than letting them sit here. It makes me sad to see the wilderness so full of trash.
Well, we do have a river running through town. I've never seen anyone dump anything in it, though.
There's just so much here. It's hard to believe it was all just dumped.
It could be a different town. I've never been there, so I'm not sure.
Fawn is me thinking I don't need to invest in a bag. Yes. Yes, this is all of us whenever we step into a store saying, I'll just grab 2 things, and then you're like complete armful of things. Because that's me all the time. There he goes again.
What do you mean? It could only be Aurelia Cavella.
But there's a few other places nearby too.
Are you sure you aren't a little confused?
Baby, you're the confused one.
Where else would there be? It's just the forest. I don't think there would be a lot of others like you living out here.
But that's not...
Fawn's like, I've been there. I've seen it. And he's like, you're so confused. Come on, Grandma. Let's get you back inside. Before Fawn could respond, we heard a low growl come from the bushes to the left of us. I didn't even have time to think. Well, we have to drop your new stuff and run. I hope your vase don't break. Neither of us had the chance to react before an animal bounded out of the grass straight towards me.
Watch out!
I braced myself for impact, but it never came. Instead, I was shoved and fell to the ground. From the ground, I finally got a good look at the thing. It was slowly circling around Fawn. It was small and gray, teeth bared in a smile. Snarl. Oh. A wolf. It must be young by the size of it. Its eyes were set on Fawn, unmoving. He hungry. Fawn, protect us! Before it could get to me, Fawn pushed me away and took my place. What is he thinking? Well, he's the animal whisperer. This is dangerous. Fawn stared back at the furious animal, not backing down. He slowly took small steps away from the animal, careful not to show his back.
Rain, just get up slowly and sneak away. I'll deal with this.
Okay, this music is really loud. I can't go anywhere though. The hesitation was gone from his voice. The jittery, nervous Fawn I'd gotten used to was nowhere in sight.
Leave! We aren't scared of you!
In large motions, he waved his arms as he shouted. He was either trying to scare it or distract it long enough for me to get away.
Rain, quickly!
His voice was quiet but powerful, commanding. Making sure not to make too sudden of a movement, I crept up from my place on the rocky ground, shuffling away from both Fawn and the wolf. My heart was beating 1,000,000 times a second. I could hear the pounding in my ears and feel it through my whole body. Please, Lords, let them not hear it too. Fawn glanced at me out of the corner of his eye, still not turning away from the wolf.
Go back to the house. I'll leave after you.
I can't leave you here! You could...
I can't leave you here. You could... It both started and was over in a blink of an eye. The wolf jumped straight at Fawn's face. Swiftly, he raised his arms to shield himself and ducked to the ground. When the wolf was directly over his head, he lifted his arms just enough to touch it, and threw it in the river. The wolf crashed into the water, splashing about and whining loudly.
Quick, now!
We both picked up the pace, running away from the river as fast as possible. Fawn grabbed my arm and pulled me along in a vast-like grip. Behind us, all I could hear was a furious splashing.
I thought we were meant to go slowly!
There's no time. Just go!
Fawn nearly pushed me up the rope, hurrying me into his house. As soon as he reached the top, he pulled it up after us. I don't think the wolf can climb the rope. But you know, better safe than sorry. I collapsed to the floor in a heap, panting. Fawn did the same.
What? What just happened?
I don't know. They've never been aggressive towards me before. We're friends. Or at least, I thought we were. He usually listens to me. I feed him when I can.
My breathing may have nearly returned to normal, but my heartbeat was nowhere close. I looked over towards Fawn. Something red was dripping down into the wooden floor. Oh, he got hurt.
What? You're hurt!
With a downcast expression, he rolled up his sleeve and examined his arm. Long red lines of blood dripped down and splattered against the floorboards. Against the floorboard, standing out as clear as day. He hid it behind his back, like a child with something they shouldn't have.
We have to bandage it or something.
I know a little bit of first aid, enough to help look after the kids at home, but is it enough for this? He had piles and piles of random bit of cloth around the room, but every time I tried to pick one up...
Wait, not that one.
Oh, true hoarder style.
I just found that the other day.
Fine. If you really won't let me bandage it, then at least let me look at your arm.
He didn't want his pretty claws dirtied. BRB, okay. See you soon. I didn't wait for his objections. He turned his arm to face me. I think the blood made it look a lot worse than it was, but it still looked quite painful. I reached out to take hold of it.
You could have been killed. You need to be more...
Lies. You have been lied to.
Lady, not right now.
Protect him. Destiny, open your arms. Take his pain.
Where am I? A loud voice boomed through my ears. I couldn't see anything. It was just me, the darkness and that voice. Lady, we were busy. We were in the middle of something. You need better timing. Unless you can help us heal this up. In the distance, I could see a light, bright like the sun of an early summer's day. I reached out towards it, my fingertips barely brushing against the cool radiance.
Rain, what's wrong?
When I opened my eyes, I hadn't moved after all. I was still in Fawn's house, holding onto his arm. As soon as my fingertips touched dawn, my vision went black. What just happened? The darkness was gone, and so was the voice. Everything was back to normal. Ah! Before I could open my mouth, a bright light flashed out between Fawn's arms and my hand. The pain started in my fingertips and traveled upwards, all through my arm, an agonizing, burning pain not unlike that day. Before my eyes, the wound on Farm's arm stitched back together until all was left was a line of dried blood. Oh, we can heal people! Awesome!
Huh?
My arm began to ache in response. When I rolled up my sleeve to look, my jaw nearly hit the ground.
What is this?
It hurts. Blood started to run down my arm and drip onto Fawn's wooden floor, just like his did only a moment ago. It really hurt. Oh, we didn't heal him. We took his wound onto ourselves. Oh no. Is this what Fawn felt? The same gash that was on Fawn's arm was now on mine. I locked eyes with Fawn. He looked just as confused as I did.
Huh? What did you just do?
That wasn't you?
He shook his head lightly, eyes wide. My mouth hung open in shock. I have absolutely no clue what just happened.
I don't know. I've never... This has never happened before. It's like
you healed me. But now you have it instead. So I guess it's more like you took on my injury in my stead.
What? Just then?
Everything you do in life has an equal reaction and consequence. So...
Ouch. You didn't tell me it hurt this much.
He really was hiding how painful this is.
When I touched you, I heard the same voices that have been in my dreams lately. But this time, they were clearer. They told me it was my job to protect you. That I'd been lied to. Something about destiny. But my destiny...
I thought back on the judgment I received 18 years ago. The fate that's controlled my whole life up till now, and will continue to do so for the rest of my life. The judgment that I was reminded at every opportunity. Even if I succeeded, I was pushed back down. After all, what could a useless boy with a useless judgment do in his life? It's not something I want to talk about. Not yet.
The judgment I was given when I was born, it was nothing like this. What could this even mean?
The judgment lied. Fawn stopped again, thinking.
But destiny is what you make of it, right? If you just live your life to what someone told you so long ago, you'll never get anywhere. It's not like you don't have the power to change it.
The destinies we receive are never wrong, though.
That you know of.
The speaker is never wrong.
That you know of. I looked down at the cut on my arm again. My destiny couldn't be wrong. I suddenly remembered the morning I woke up in the forest. The flowers that hadn't been there the night before. Did I have something to do with that? I'm thinking you do. Maybe Fawn is onto something. Maybe not. I don't know. Despite his temperament, Fawn really has a way with words. I think I almost believe in what he's saying.
I guess I better bandage this after all.
Yeah. Let me help you.
Even though he refused a moment ago, he quickly wrapped my arm up, not missing a beat. No matter how closely I looked at my wound, it didn't go anywhere. It was really there. That really just happened. This could be an amazing gift, but I couldn't help but think about how dangerous it could be too. And how come this had never happened before? How could something like this happen out of nowhere? What triggered it?
Oh, Fawn?
He jumped, surprised when I called out to him suddenly.
You were really cool back there, though. I really felt like I could depend on you.
His face flared up again, as red as a rose. Oh, we appreciate you, Fawn. Even though we're the hurt one now. It was no fault of your own, though.
Who knew you could be so dashing?
After everything that happened, it was finally starting to get dark out. The sun was setting over the horizon, leaving the forest cold and quiet.
Actually, there's one other place I'd like to show you today.
Buddy, it's already dark.
Is that a good idea? Do you think the wolf is gone?
Yeah. We'll be going the opposite direction, so... I wasn't actually going to show you this, in case it frightened you. But I feel like I should. It's the right thing to do.
We finished wrapping my injury in makeshift bandages, and I pulled my sleeve down. What does he mean, in case it frightened me?
What is it?
Well, it's kind of hard to explain, but I think you've already seen the effects of it. If your arm isn't hurting too badly, will you come with me? I know how much it hurt, so you don't have to force yourself.
He doesn't usually look so serious, and his words are making me a little nervous, especially after what happened earlier. But I guess after his performance before, I feel like I can depend on him if anything goes wrong. Plus, I gotta show him that I can protect him too. Oh, we want to protect the baby. I mean, he did a good job at protecting us.
Yeah, sure.
I followed Fawn down the ladder. Why is it blue again? Oh, you updated it. Fawn's lived alone in the forest for most of his life, and the first person he's ever met. And I'm the first person he's ever met out here. Now that we've had more of a chance to get to know each other, I don't think he's strange. He can sometimes be shy, but he's also strong, both physically and mentally. He also seems very wise for his age. I can tell that we'll get along well. Yeah, see, we didn't know his name. He's still pretty. Okay, we're up to date on those. Okay, I want to look at the lore real quick. There's not much of it. The divine beings are the gods that watch over Aurelia Cavella to protect it from the evils in the forest. Though there are many gods, most of their names have been forgotten, and instead are usually worshipped as a group rather than a specific god. The judgment is given by none other than the divine speaker himself. Upon birth, the speaker communes with the gods to grant a fortune that will determine the rest of their lives. Okay, and that's her letter. Okay, I think we're pretty caught up. I almost hit the X button. Oh my goodness. I followed Fawn down the ladder and through the growing darkness. This time, we walked for what felt like forever. On and on. Everything looked the same, as if we were going in circles. My arm throbbed with every step, but there wasn't much I could do about it now. I just had to suck it up. It was already pitch black out here. I hope Fawn knows his way. I watched Fawn's back whilst I walked. He had slim shoulders and a small figure, but he still looked fit, maybe even more than me. He's probably strong, too. Muscular, but so slim. I guess living out here, he would have to be in be pretty in shape. Wonder how long he's truly been alone, and why. It isn't my place to be nosy, but I can't help but wonder. I don't think he wants to talk about it, though, and I won't push him. His short hair was messy from running earlier. Well, messier than it usually was, which is saying something, since it's usually pretty wild anyway. At least he's not injured anymore. I felt in my arm, just to confirm the bandage was actually there. Yeah, it was. It really happened. I pulled up my sleeve enough to glance at my other arm. The markings still stood against my skin as much as the day they appeared. These markings. Those dreams. Fawn's injury. What connects them? Is it all just one big coincidence? No matter how much I turned these thoughts around in my head, I wasn't getting anywhere. Nothing made sense.
Whoa.
Absorbed in my thoughts, I bumped straight into Fawn when he suddenly stopped in his tracks.
Shh. Look.
I peered over his shoulder. My body instantly stiffened up.
What? What is that?
The forest in front of us was filled with some kind of blue, glowing mist that gently swayed back and forth to an unseen rhythm. The color was unnatural yet beautiful. In the haze, I could almost see faces. Blue, lifeless faces. One second they were there, and the next there was nothing. As if my mind was playing tricks on me.
The forest spirits. They're angry.
Oh. Okay, that's not good. Are they angry because we're here? I'd listened closely to him, my breath stuck in my throat. We stood a distance from the mist and peered out between the trees.
They didn't originally come from here. The town to the west of here. The one that you're so sure is your home. Every once in a while, they dump things out here. Most of the time, you wouldn't be able to tell what they are. But sometimes, they're still whole.
What kind of things are they dumping out here? What? I gulped. A cold sweat ran down my back and my hands shook. I tried to hide them from Fawn, who looked as calm as ever.
Things?
I think you already encountered it before. The arm you found before we met.
How is that a thing? That was a person, right? Right? Hello, Aurelia. Welcome back. It's spooky time.
They've always been here, since before I came. But they're angrier. More now than ever. It's like they're sticking around for some reason, but they don't really want to be here. I can't think of any reason for such a large amount of bodies to be piled up the way they are. Lately, the flowers haven't bloomed as early. The leaves have fallen from the trees much more quickly. Fruits and vegetables barely grow. The animals stay in my house for safety or hide far away.
Oh, the forest is cursed.
Something's going on. Plus, that wolf from earlier. The forest seems angry, like it's lashing out at something that hurt it.
I thought back to home.
They've been dumping bodies out here?
All the old people. Oh, yeah. It said there was a place for the old people to go retire or whatever. I called it. They just kill them and dump them, don't they? And because of all the bodies and the restless spirits from the old people, it's haunting the forest, isn't it? I couldn't watch them for even a second longer. They were terrifyingly beautiful, enough to make me feel it. I haven't finished the game, so I don't know why any of this is happening, so don't take my words as a fact. Okay, I gotcha, but I mean, also, what if they were like experimenting on things? Surely, this can't be real. Surely, if I just look away or close my eyes, they'll disappear.
But the speaker says that those that die get buried in Azros, with the elders that live there.
I don't know anything about that. But bodies definitely get dumped out here, and their spirits linger for some reason or another. I wasn't sure I should show you this. I wanted to show you beauty rather than scary things, but you deserved to know. If you want to stay here with me, then you would have found out eventually. It's better if you learn from me.
I held onto the back of Fawn's shirt tightly. There's nothing I could say.
Let's go back now, okay? Just don't come back here by yourself. I've never let myself be seen by them, and I wouldn't want you to find out what they'd do to you if they did.
I looked back at the hazy figures one more time. They floated back and forth silently. It couldn't be true. None of it's true. Surely they come from somewhere else, but where? Where else is there? The speaker wouldn't lie to us, would he? My mind flickered back to his icy eyes, the way he stared me down despite never speaking to me before.
Let's go.
I kept a hold of Fawn's shirt as we turned to leave. Something deep inside of me told me not to turn back, but I glanced over my shoulder. The figures had all stopped. They looked like they were staring right at me. Or was it right through me? My head whipped back around. I didn't turn back again. Oof. Maybe all the orphan kids' parents were killed for experiments. I mean, possibility. Bruh, he kicked you out and you still believe in him. I know, right? Right? He didn't even give us a chance to explain things. He was like, nope, yep, you're gone. You're gone. You stepped into my chamber because I was stupid enough to leave the door open, and you're gone. The journey back to Fawn's house was both chilling and uneventful, even when I expected something to jump out and grab me before dragging me back into the pitch black darkness. Nothing came. I held onto Fawn's shirt the whole time, but he didn't seem to mind. So much for acting tough in front of him. My eyes darted around, desperate for something. Anything. No matter where I looked, I could feel those ghostly figures watching me. It's only my imagination, right? It's just the forest. The forest that surrounds is both deadly and dangerous, according to the speaker. No one ventures outside for fear of death, though I'm not quite sure what exactly makes it so dangerous. Some say it's filled with evil beasts and wild animals. Some say that the supernatural forces are at work, and some say that leaving the lands protected by the gods will make them smite you. Honestly, I don't know which one I believe. It turns out that for some reason, food hasn't been growing and animals have been going into hiding. That's strange enough by itself, but I also learned that someone's been dumping bodies out here. Why? Well, whatever the reason, it's nothing good. Once we got back to Fawn's treehouse, I went up the ladder as fast as I could, and he quickly climbed up after me. All I wanted was the comforted walls around me, even if they were in a tree. When I looked at him, his face seemed grim, his expression sullen.
I'm sorry. Would you have rathered I didn't show you? I don't know if it was a mistake or not. They've always been there, but they've never left that area. It's like they're stuck there. I don't think they can follow us here, so we're safe. I wouldn't let you be hurt, you know.
He looked away from me.
Don't worry, because I'll protect you.
Oh. He spat out the line before turning around and pretending to be busy. He whirled back around, his face bright red.
What's so funny? I'm being serious.
I couldn't help it. Rather, I didn't want to help it. It felt good to break the tension.
No, no. I believe you.
It doesn't sound like it.
Sometimes Fawn really does seem full of youthful energy. What a brave guy. So dependable. Actually, now that I think about it.
So, Fawn, I know you said you didn't know how long ago you came here, but do you know how old you are?
He stopped what he was doing to think for a moment. His face was still as red as a tomato, though.
I should have turned around 20 this year, I think.
Whoa, no way! I can't believe I'm younger than you.
This whole time I thought he was the same age as me. His small frame doesn't help that.
Wait, how old are you?
It was my 18th birthday 2 days ago.
You got thrown out on your birthday?
Yep, we did. He looked pretty upset.
Yeah, but like you said, there's always two sides to anything. I might have left my home, but I wouldn't have met you otherwise.
I smiled at him. I wasn't even really exaggerating. It's true. Bad things have happened, but Fawn's been the only reason I've survived out here. So I'll have to look on the bright side. Honestly, feels like we've known each other for much longer than we actually have. Feels natural to be this close to him. I wonder if it's because of his personality. It makes me want to trust him, to get to know him.
I mean...
He covers his bright face up with his hand so I couldn't see him.
Sometimes you say the most romantic, corny things. It's embarrassing. How do you come up with these lines?
We're making him blush so much he's gonna just combust one day.
Romantic?
I thought the word over in my head. Romantic. Nope, definitely never heard it before.
What does that mean?
Oh, dear child. Bruh, 20 and 18 are barely different. Stop making me feel old. Yeah, they really aren't that different. He uncovered his face and looked straight at me.
You know, like, kind of lovey-dovey, mushy...
Lovey-dovey?
Oh, no.
You know, love?
Hmm?
You can't be serious. It's what one person feels for another. And they get married, have kids, be in love, kiss, you know.
No, he doesn't know. Start with the birds and the bees.
It's that feeling you get in your chest when you look at someone you want to spend your life with.
I've never heard of it.
Maybe this is some kind of forest lingo. Should I try to fit in? Oh my god.
Haven't you seen people in your village in love? With children?
At home. Of course we have children. The speaker usually just pairs people together. We don't get to pick who we end up with. Most of the time it's people of similar positions or class. Then they have children.
Oh my gosh. They are paired together by the speaker? They don't organically find each other? Oh my gosh. Yep, cult. Cult experiment. They're like, huh, let's mix these features with that features. Oh my goodness. I can't wait for Fawn to realize he's flirting with a brick wall. He is. He doesn't understand.
But I've never heard of love or kissing or marriage.
Fawn, can you demonstrate kissing to Raen, please?
You don't have love? Are you telling me it doesn't exist there? How can that be true? How could anyone survive without love?
Oh, we got a thingy. Okay, quick save. We got a choice. It's the first time this entire episode we've had a choice. Oh my gosh, I about spit out my water because I read the first one. Can you teach me what kissing is? Marriage, what does that mean? It doesn't sound important. Oh. You really want Fawn to combust, don't you? Yes, yes I do. Can you teach me what kissing is, Sensei?
What's kissing? Can you teach me?
What? No, that's way too embarrassing.
He wouldn't even make eye contact with me. That made me all the more curious. I feel like I'm missing out on something.
Please? I've never heard of it before.
It's like
He pursed his lips together.
when you put your lips on someone else's lips, and then, like, move them around a little bit. I've never kissed anyone before, so I'm not really sure either.
We all know what to pick. Yes, yes, that was like, I didn't even stop to ask. I was like, yes, yes. Aw, he's never kissed anyone either.
You put your lips together? Why would you want to do that?
Because it feels nice, I think.
Can we try it?
Rain's gonna be the death of Fawn. By spontaneous human combustion.
No!
Can you show us like a physical demonstration? Before I could ask any more questions, he leapt into the bed and buried his face in the pillow.
I'm suddenly really tired. Good night.
He seemed kind of embarrassed. Is love embarrassing? How come I never heard of it? I lay down on my back next to Fawn, arms behind my head. More and more questions. When am I gonna get some answers?
Hey, Fawn?
No response. Either he's too embarrassed or he's already asleep. I quietly stripped down to my underwear. I should think of a way to thank him properly. With my eyes closed, I went over everything that's happened in the last few days. The marking, that red-haired man, the speaker. Oh my god, look at this pretty boy. Why didn't you listen to us?
You look just like your father did.
Exactly. He knew our father. How old are you? Did he know my father? How? Why? No matter how much I thought about it, no answer came to me. Instead, I slowly drifted off to sleep to the sound of my Fawn gently breathing.
Wake up. Quickly. Spreading. Awaken. Wake up.
Lady, come on, please. Clear instructions. The speaker looks so creepy. He's giving headmaster vibes. I mean, that headmaster was super creepy. I'd like to, like, have more scenes with the speakers so we learn more about... Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning. About things, but, I mean, we're kind of banned from the city. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. But the name of the game is the Divine Speaker, so I'm sure we'll see him again, right? I blinked open my eyes and turned my head to the side.
Another strange dream.
Either way, they're getting less terrifying, or I'm slowly getting used to them. What a scary thought. If only I could understand what they were trying to tell me. Something's kind of uncomfortable. Oh. It's way too warm. I feel like I'm burning up. I tried to kick the sheets off my legs to find that Fawn has wrapped himself up in them, and I didn't have any. Why is it so hot then? No joke when the women said, "Open your eyes." I shut them. Being a rebel there. Good job. He was still asleep, a small crease in his brow. I wonder what he's dreaming about. He must be tired after everything that happened yesterday. Do we have a fever because of the cut? I reached out and brushed a few strands of hair off his face. They were stuck to his head, which were drenched in sweat. I glanced around the room. There was some kind of faint glow shining through the floorboards. What? Surely it isn't morning already. When I looked towards the doorway, the sky was still dark.
What's that noise?
That sounds like fire. Oh no, don't tell me his house is on fire. No. All of his doodads. I quickly slid out of out from beside Fawn and walked up to the door. My chest felt tight and the air left my lungs.
No.
A wave of panic crept over me. No, it is a fire. He's gonna lose his home. And look how hard he has all of his doodads in here that he's worked out years to get. No. The trees surrounding the house were engulfed in flames, and a thick smoke billowed upwards towards the sky. The moon and stars were hidden. Actually, it wasn't just the surrounding trees that were alight. Flames licked at the bottom of Fawn's wooden floorboards. It wouldn't be long until the whole thing was aflame. I grabbed my clothes as fast as I could. We have to get out of here quickly. Not just quickly, but now.
Fawn, get up, quick!
I shook him until his eyes opened.
There's a fire! We need to get out of here, now!
The heat was starting to make it difficult to breathe. If we wait much longer... I grabbed my things while Fawn scrambled out of bed.
No.
Fawn stood completely still, staring at the ground. He made no efforts to quicken his pace.
Fawn, we have to go! Right now! Like now!
Listen, I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't mean...
What? He was holding his head in his hands, staring at the ground. Even when I yelled at him to move, he stayed still. We have no time for this. I grabbed him by the hand and pulled him towards the doorway. He didn't resist, but he also didn't try to run with me, instead letting me drag him along. The rope to get down was already light, so that was off the table.
Fawn, I want you to jump after me. Can you do that?
Oh, hopefully we don't break our legs. I looked over at him. He gave me a slight nod, but he wouldn't meet my eyes. Dude, you make him go first, because he might not jump. Oh, that's not good. His poor house. I jumped first, barely cleaning the flickering flames that were quickly covering the forest floor. Once I landed safely, I turned back towards Fawn, arms outstretched without a second thought. But he didn't move. I told you! I told you you make him go first! Oh my gosh.
Fawn, do you trust me?
He blinked a couple of times. Yay! He did jump. He didn't say anything. He just jumped. I caught him in my arms and quickly set him down on the ground. We stood on the forest floor for a moment, still holding on to each other. And the reality of the situation started to set in. Maybe he accidentally lit his home on fire as a kid and killed his parents, so now he's traumatized with fire. Do you know, or are you theorizing? This is so bad, though. We stood on the forest floor for a moment, still holding on to each other. Oh no. Baby. I feel so bad for him, though. That was his home. I hope none of the critters are in there. And that would be bad if he can, like, start fires. Because Because he said he didn't mean to, so maybe he has like an power to start fires? Oh no. I followed Fawn's gaze up towards his treehouse. Who could have done this? Theorizing this game is so long, I quit before we got to the routes. Okay, fair enough. He looked lost. He didn't make a sound, nor did he cry as the flames began to engulf the entirety of his home. He's in shock. He just stared ahead, completely still. An unspoken sadness came from him, like his heart had broken into a million pieces.
Fawn! Fawn, come on, please! We need to go! It isn't safe here!
There's 2 of them.
Who's that? Who's that?
Shouldn't it be only 1? I didn't hear anything about 2.
Is that a voice? Somebody did this on purpose. But were they after Fawn or us? My ears perked up at the sound of talking. Someone else is here. I couldn't work out which direction a voice was coming from through the crackling and popping of the flames. I tightened my grip on Fawn's arm. He's still just staring. The smoke was beginning to get thicker, and the longer we stood here, the harder it was to see. Run towards the river! It's getting pretty difficult to breathe.
Where's our other guy? I've lost visuals on him. Nothing good ever comes from working with the likes of him anyway.
Okay, so there's at least 3 people. There's more than 1 of them. This is bad. If I can't get Fawn to move now, we'll either be cooked alive or found by whoever's looking for us.
Fawn, listen to me. I think whoever caused this fire is still here. We really have to go, now.
I didn't...
I grabbed his shoulder and turned him to face me.
Please, Fawn.
Oh, okay.
I gave his arm a little pull, and this time he followed behind me easily, but his eyes were empty. He didn't say another word. The falling embers were lighting the grass around us on fire faster and faster. Every direction was getting completely engulfed. If we don't find a way quickly, thank the gods it isn't windy out. We had only made it a short distance before Fawn came to a halt.
What's wrong?
There, to the left.
The left? My eyes followed his in the same direction. I could see 2 figures in the distance, approaching Fawn's home. It doesn't look like they've seen us yet. Seems like they're looking around the burning shrubs, searching. They must be looking for us. Fawn's house looked ready to collapse. The fire still burnt as strong, if not stronger than before, yet they still searched. We need to be as far away from this as possible, right now. Risking their lives like that? Are we that important to them?
Shouldn't you 2 be running?
Oh, it's red-haired guy. Dude, did you set the fire? How dare? How dare? Real? Okay, he does look awesome right there, but how dare? Who? Another voice, different from the ones I heard earlier, shot out between the sounds of crackling fire. He has a freaking whip and a dagger. We need to run. Whilst Fawn and I was preoccupied with watching the other 2, we didn't notice another coming from the right of the tree line. The 3rd person came into view. He was close. Close enough that if I took a few steps forward, I'd be able to touch him. My first thought was to ask for help, but a tug on my hand stopped me in my tracks.
Wait. He's armed.
Yeah, he's armed. Dude, go the other way. The red... Oh, hell yeah. Our red-headed virgin has arrived. Oh, no. Dude, let us go.
Ah, you noticed.
The man chuckled faintly. In his hand, what is that? It looked like some kind of rope. That's the least of our worries by the look of it. It's a whip, buddy. On the other hand, he held a dagger. This is dangerous. I think we should...
You know, it was way too easy to follow you out here. You don't exactly try and cover up your tracks, do you?
You're the reason we got thrown out here, asshole. You're the you were like, oh yeah, your arm. You need to go and talk and check out the archives and the Divine Speaker. It's free today. We go in there, we get in trouble. They're like, hey, you need to die. We need to expel you, throw you outside. And then we almost freaking die in the forest. We run into a corpse, and then it's like so scary, and we're running and running, and you're like, oh, you should have covered your tracks. Dude! Dude! Did you have us thrown out so you could kill us?
If I was in your shoes, that would be the first thing I'd do.
Well, you're not us, are you?
Guess we can't all be as wise as me, though.
Oh, don't be so smug. Follow. Fawn pulled at my hand again until I was standing directly behind him, placing himself between us.
When they told me I'd be tracking some guy out into the forest, I was a little worried. But you know what? The thrill of catching you here is worth it.
Okay, you are creepy. You're creepy. I'm so messed up I don't see a whip as a weapon anymore. I mean... I see that. Dude. So you had us exiled and so you can come hunt us? Well, they said... Oh my gosh. He took a step towards Fawn and I. I flinched. A cold shiver ran down my neck and I could feel myself covered in sweat. Have I heard that voice before? I searched desperately through the thick smoke. He was tall and slender, but most of his figure was obscured. Red hair? The only thing I could make out on his face was a sly grin. I could hear Fawn whispering to me, desperation in his voice. Go with Fawn! Go with Fawn! Get out of there!
Rain, we need to run the...
A loud creaking noise came from behind as the first part of Fawn's house began to crumble to the forest floor. The other two men were still at the base of the tree, but the debris just missed them. They continued their search, oblivious for what was happening over here. Fawn tightened his grip on my hand. I wouldn't be surprised if it bruised later.
Vaughn, I think that could be...
Rain. Wake up.
The achievement we got was called Time for Marshmallows. Oh no. Because of the fire, it said be involved in an unfortunate arson event. Oh no. It seems the cult doesn't have free dental care.
Safety. Find him. Go. Far from here.
Clearer instructions, lady. Come on. Where am I? Are we captured? I'm on the ground. Why? The fire? That man? Fawn! Fawn!
Vaughn!
Rain.
Oh good, Fawn's here. When I sat up, the world around me span. Fawn was sprawled out on the ground not far from me. I crawled over to him. He didn't look hurt, but he seemed pretty out of it.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I just... What? Where am I? What just happened?
He seemed a little confused, but I couldn't blame him. I'm confused too. I just hope he didn't hit his head. I checked over his body. He has a few scrapes, but it doesn't look like he's bleeding. Phew. Slowly, I glanced back towards Fawn's house. Well, where it used to be, but now it's just a mountain of debris. What exactly just happened? It was falling, but then All I remember is a loud bang.
I think it exploded. Did you have something explosive in there?
The ground and the trees around us were lightly charred, but the worst of the flames had gone down. Only embers were left sizzling on the ground. Where's the red-haired dude? He was close enough to know where we are. Why didn't he take us? My throat felt hoarse from the smoke. I wish we had something to drink. Everything that Fawn had is gone. Everything he owned, collected, loved.
I'm so sorry.
But what am I meant to do now? This is all my fault.
Oh, it's called the feeling of homelessness. Oh, baby.
I'm being punished.
No, you're not being punished.
It's not. Those people.
What's left for me now?
He worked so hard to make him a home. His question hung in the air, lingering. I don't know what I can say to him. What can you say to someone that has lost everything? Nothing. There's nothing I can do to make this better. That makes it even more painful.
My friends, where are they?
I'm sorry, Fawn. I wish I could do something.
Sitting here wasn't going to solve anything, though. I pushed myself onto my feet, swaying a little at first. The smoke definitely went to my head.
I'm going to see if anything survived the...
Do you think?
Fawn glanced up at me from where he was seated in the forest floor.
The other people? I don't know.
I'll come with you.
I held out my hand to Fawn to pull him up beside me. This is just too awful. I look sideways at Fawn, glad to have him by my side. I don't know exactly what we'll find over here, and I'm worried about those strange men. Are they still nearby, or... I walked back towards the smoldering pile of wood where Fawn's house once stood. I was half expecting us to see, like, the red-haired guy just, like, knocked out nearby. I could see Fawn's treasures littered around the ground, most of it burnt to a crisp and barely recognizable. I crouched down to the floor and pushed past the ashes and rubble. I picked up a little wooden toy, untouched by the fire somehow. An animal. A small, sad smile came to his face when I held it out to him.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I feel like if I wasn't here, none of this would have ever happened to you.
I can't handle this guilt. My chest feels heavy, like it's slowly consuming me. I'm the first person he's ever seen out here, and he showed me kindness when he didn't have to. Look what he got in return. His whole life is ruined in one night. Everything he's built up, everything he loves, all gone.
No, it's not your fault. I don't want you to blame yourself. This is because of me.
How is it because of you? I don't know how much longer I can hold back my tears. We worked together to move some of the debris until we finally made out some scraps of fabric. All melted to the lifeless bodies underneath them. Oh, the ones that were really close to the house. As disgusting as it was, I couldn't look away. They were people too, even if what happened to Fawn was probably their fault.
I guess they didn't survive.
The two men were half crushed underneath the rubble. They didn't stand a chance. I hope for their sake they died quickly when the tree collapsed, rather than slowly in the flames. Fawn put his arm around my shoulder and turned me away from the gruesome scene.
Don't look anymore. It'll only make it worse.
You're right. Did you see the third one?
I'm not sure. Everything's so burnt.
He was standing so close to us, I could have almost touched him. He might have survived. If he's alive, is he still in the area? Or did he flee after seeing what happened to his companions? I don't know. I scanned the area. Nothing. Nothing. Wait. Damn, you're a fortune teller. He is passed out nearby, isn't he? It's like, listen, dude, we can help you, but you need to calm down. So are we adopting him? I caught a glimpse of red beneath the scenery. Greenery. What is that?
Wait, look over there.
I walked towards the vibrant color and pulled back the charred branches that stood in the way. My breath caught in my throat. Slumped up against a tree trunk was a man. Long, flowing red hair, eyebrows furrowed in pain. It wasn't the first time I'd seen him either. A man that I bumped into only a few days ago. The one that told me about the Speaker's archives. A man from Aurelia Cavella.
No way.
I heard a gasp from behind me. Neither of us expected to find him so easily.
Shit.
Oh, he's awake. Thousands of questions swirled around in my head, but now wasn't the time. He looked hurt. Slowly, and quietly, I inched closer to him. From a distance, I can see he had some cuts and bruises, but they didn't look too bad. There were scars on his stomach and arms, too, but they looked old. How did he get these? Probably nothing good. I knelt down beside him, right now. Whatever he did or said didn't matter, he just needs help. I stared at his legs and worked my way up. No injuries here. Stomach seemed fine, apart from a bruise or two. Oh, the grumpy boy's back. I looked at his face. Eyes that were previously closed in pain now bore into me. He didn't look happy. I'm too close. Barely a second went by before a blade was pressed against my throat. Dude, we're trying to help you, and this is what we get? I froze. What do I do? He pushed the knife against my skin, and I felt a warm, stinging sensation, followed by the feeling of something wet running down my throat. Ungrateful! So ungrateful! I swallowed, but my mouth felt completely dry. His eyes hadn't left mine the whole time. They were watching me, almost as if he was judging my every movement.
You're injured. Let me...
You think I need help from someone like you?
Okay then, let's stand up and leave him here. Come on, Rain. Come on, Fawn. Let's go. He smirked at me, though it was obvious he was still in pain.
I'd die before letting a pipsqueak like you...
Are you sure about that? Mid-sentence, he started coughing abruptly, a loud, throaty cough. Now's my chance.
Gotcha!
Look at how tall he is. I forgot how tall he was. Before I could do anything, Fawn came up beside me and knocked the blade right out of the man's hand. My hand went instantly to my throat. I was met with a wet sensation, but the cut didn't feel very deep. The stinging was only mild. When the injured man started reaching for something else, I noticed red all over the hand he just coughed into. Wait. Something else? I quickly grabbed both of his arms. They both felt toned and strong. He was definitely fit, and much stronger than me, but his injuries must have weakened him a little.
Fawn, see if he has any other weapons.
Look at his leg here. He has like knives all over the place. He has weapons. 1, 2, 3, 6 other daggers and a whip.
You're well equipped.
Well, I was. Now I'm not equipped at all.
You sure you don't have any hiding anywhere else, buddy? We need to do a full pat down. I let go of his arms. He was barely fighting against me now. I peered into his face again. A line of red trickled out from the corner of his mouth.
Which parts hurt?
I'm not much of a doctor, but there must be something I can do.
Which parts hurt? God, where to start? My legs, my back, my stomach, my throat. But you know what hurts the most?
I looked at him eagerly, ready to try and help.
That I have to see your dumb fucking face this close up. Get away from me.
Oh my gosh. Rude. He smiled to himself. I guess he thinks that's really funny. How does anyone deal with people like this?
Excuse me. We're just trying to help you.
What's that? I'm sorry, I don't speak mouse.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh, sorry.
Don't say sorry. He's being rude to you. And you. You obviously need help, and we're going to give it to you, whether you like it or not.
I'd like to see you try.
How unappreciative can you get? Why is he so opposed to help that he obviously needs? The other day, what I did to Fawn. Maybe I could try that again. Dude, no! He is really hurt. If we do that again, you're going to be freaking out for the count. You're going to end up killing yourself trying to heal other people. I don't owe this asshole anything. Exactly. He's an asshole. You don't need to do anything. Huh? I'm also a comedian. How about I'll leave you here? Doesn't that sound funny? Exactly. Exactly, Aurelia. Yeah, we don't owe him anything. If I could take away just a little bit of his pain instead of it all, and then he'll be fully healed and he'll kill us. How does that sound? I don't know how to, but couldn't hurt to try, right? Fawn's already stripped him of his weapons, plus he's injured, so it shouldn't be too dangerous to touch him, right? Last time all I did was touch Fawn and it happened. I reached my hand out towards him. His arm was covered in cuts and bruises.
Touch me and see what happens to you.
Look at that expression. The face of death.
Sounds like an empty threat to me. What are you gonna do?
He's struggling just to keep his eyes on me, so I doubt he'll do anything now. I ignore his words and lightly touch my fingertips to his wrist. A flash of light, booming voices. Not. His skin felt warm, but nothing happened. You're not special enough to be healed. Apparently. It worked last time. Well, we care for Fawn a lot. Maybe that's why.
What the hell are you?
He started to cough violently again, more blood trickling from the corner of his mouth. Any resistance he had before was gone. He didn't even shake up my hand off of him.
Are you okay?
Get lost.
Just let us help you.
You know, this is a lot like whenever you find a wild kitten that doesn't know that you're trying to help it. And you're trying to reach over and get the kitten, and the kitten's just sitting there like all poofed up going... But, you know, it's so little, it can't really do nothing to you. You're a hissy little kitten at the moment, buddy. Hissy little grumpy kitten. His eyes slowly narrowed before they fully closed.
Fawn? Why did he close his eyes? Is he okay? What do we do?
Fawn rushed over to my side, tossing the daggers and the whip to the ground. He felt at the man's throat carefully. All I could do was watch. I've never felt so useless.
He's alive,
He just passed out.
but he's obviously pretty badly injured. We need to get him somewhere we can check and clean his wounds.
Use the whip to tie him up, and then drag him along. In times like these, Fawn seems like a different person. Dependable. Strong. Unlike me.
Why didn't it work?
Fawn looked at me for a moment, thinking.
I don't know. Maybe you just can't control it yet. Maybe it was a miracle.
Last time the voices told me to help you. This time they were silent.
Yeah, they don't think you should help him.
Anyway.
Carefully, I lifted the man onto my back. He's so much taller than me, so it's kind of awkward.
Fawn, can you gather his belongings? We can carry him over to the river and check him out.
Yes.
He scurried around, picking up the weapons that lay discarded on the forest floor.
Alright, let's get out of here.
I know you have a lot of cats, but this is the reason why I don't like them. No one is disrespecting me and not paying rent. Well, that's just my experience. So whenever I found them as kittens, all my kitties, they're nice. They're nice and sweet. They don't They don't disrespect me. They're cuddle bugs. Well, except for the one that kept waking me up last night. But, yeah, they don't pay rent. They act like they do, but they don't. Fawn took one last moment to stare in the direction of his destroyed house. But only one, before turning away and following after me. Lugging this guy across the forest was no easy feat. Fawn ended up having to help me with his legs since they were dragging on the ground, and he was groaning and shifting around every time he got caught in a bush. How unappreciative. What a troublesome guy. Eventually we reached the river. What could have been a 15-minute walk slowly became an hour-long struggle. It was just a thump noise. I placed him on the ground carefully with a sigh. It didn't sound like that. It sounded like you just dead weight dropped him.
That took a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, he's way too tall.
The redhead was still out cold. This is our chance to check his wounds properly without him complaining. We looked over his exposed arms and stomach again, but there was nothing life-threatening. Fawn got to work with cleaning the dirt from those wounds while I checked elsewhere. His face? Fine. He's actually got pretty nice features, but you can barely tell past his awful expression. Legs don't seem to have any problems. They feel quite muscular, too. I felt them for a moment before moving on. I looked again at the small trickle of blood coming out from his mouth.
I guess I should check his mouth?
He's gonna wake up and try to bite you, isn't he? I glanced at Fawn for confirmation. He gave me a little nod. All right, here it goes. I touched a finger to his mouth. His lips were soft. Softer than they ought to be for someone with such nasty language. I parted his lips with my fingers and opened his mouth. I told you he's gonna wake up and bite. His eyes shot open. We instantly made eye contact.
You mind getting your fingers out of my mouth?
Okay, that was a great voice line. You don't mind getting your fingers out of my meal?
Oh, of course.
I took my fingers out of his mouth and a disgusted look spread over his face. He spat and reached for his belt.
What did you do with my weapons?
Don't worry, we have them safe.
Oh, I'm not worried about them. You just know what they say. Don't let children near sharp objects and all. Especially if that pipsqueak over there has them.
Oh, stop insulting Fawn. He looks like his attitude wasn't injured. He sat up but it looked like moving took a lot of effort. Right now, he doesn't seem dangerous. We're over here saying Raen is innocent, but he's helping the person who tried to kill him because he's hot. Fight me on this. Raen may not know nothing about love, marriage, how children are made, love, any of that, but he's been appreciating Fawn for the past couple of days. He may not know himself doing it, but he's been appreciating Fawn. And as he's checking this guy over, he's just like, ooh, muscular legs. He has actually a nice face. Dude. He might not know it yet, but he finds them both hot.
Listen, you need our help. You obviously can't leave by yourself, so just cut the attitude and let us help you. Why don't we introduce ourselves? My name's Raen, and the one with the light hair over there is Fawn.
And I'm the king of Aurelia Cavella.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Fine. Leos.
Leos! Cool, I thought it was just Leo for a moment, but no, it's Leos. Nice.
You should have just left me where you found me. Can't think of anything worse than being indebted to someone like you.
Oh, back the freak up, okay?
Stop being so unappreciative. We could still leave you here.
Fawn walked back over from the river. He gathered some water to clean Leos's wound.
This might sting a little.
Ouch.
He warned you?
I'm sorry.
Don't be. It serves him right.
I chuckled quietly. That's what you get for being nasty. While Fawn was busy, we had a moment of silence. Finally, a chance to ask some questions. Just leave him now. Exactly. Apparently, it's not an option.
So, what exactly is going on? Did you burn Fawn's house down? Were you with the other two?
He watched me with narrowed eyes, probably deciding if he even wanted to bother answering my questions. Eventually, he just sighed.
No point in keeping it secret now. If I go back, they'll just get rid of me anyway. I know they'll look for any excuse. Someone hired me to track you down, and paid well for it, too.
And the other two. The fire.
Yes, I was with the other two, but they were idiots anyway. I'm sure they're burning in hell by now. You can blame them for the fire. I wouldn't do something so showy.
Someone hired you to track me down? Why? Now you're going to stay quiet?
Sorry, I was just admiring how dense you are.
Well, of course he's dense. He has no clue what's going on, dude. Enlighten him.
To kill you, obviously. I didn't know about the other kid, though.
He glanced at Fawn.
What? Why would anyone?
No clue. I just follow orders.
I felt sick. Who would do that to me?
But in the town square.
Whoa, you're not a total airhead after all. I'm amazed. The only instructions I received were to follow you and direct you to the archives somehow.
It was a setup. It was a freaking setup. Oh my god. Who did it?
Not the kind of job I'm used to. Any sane person that wanted you dead would have had me assassinate you in your sleep, but money's money. Not my job to ask questions. I thought it would have been more work, but you took the bait easily. You should learn not to trust people.
But I was thrown out because of that. Because of you.
You were thrown out because you're so gullible. That has nothing to do with me. Maybe you shouldn't believe everything you're told, huh? Anyway, you can blame whoever employed me. I'm not taking the blame for that one.
Then, what do you know about my markings? You said you recognized them.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh
I just
my
repeated
God.
what I was told to say.
Was
How am I meant to see something your sleeve is covering? Idiot.
his arm really covered up at the moment? My face flared up. I really do feel like an idiot. Whoever hired him was the one who knew about my markings then. I have two leads. Prince Caspian and Leos's employer. Neither would be easy to find. It's not exactly like I can traipse back home to question them. What about the prince? Is he even alive? I never heard about him from anyone. Fawn watched me with worried eyes, but still went about cleaning his cuts. Before I could even ask anything else, he cut back into the conversation.
I've cleaned up your wounds as best I can, but
He glanced at Leos's mouth.
I think some of them may be beyond us. We need to get help from a healer or a doctor.
How? If either of us enter Aurelia Cavella, we'll be toast.
Well, if we go east, through the forest, we'll eventually get to Stagwitch. Sidcaeum is past that, but it's pretty far away.
Those names again. What is he talking about?
Fawn, I didn't want to say anything before, but maybe you're a little confused from being out here so long. Aurelia Cavella is the only place nearby. Well, the only place full stop. The rest of the world is just forest. You should know that.
You keep saying things like that. Is that really what they told you?
He had a sad look in his eyes.
I'm not sure what they taught you in your hometown, but there's an entire world out here. Cities, villages, nations, people. I've never even heard of Aurelia Cavella.
What do you mean? You've never been there?
I don't think so. It's kind of strange. I remember following the river at one point, but there was a dense fog, and I'd find myself back at my house. I'm starting to believe there's not a village there at all.
Of course there is.
You keep some, interesting company. A crazy, delusional wild forest boy, some kind of cross between a mouse and a fairy.
Oh my gosh, he's now a cross between a mouse and a fairy.
I'm not crazy.
He's not crazy.
I can't believe that a place with those kinds of teachings could possibly exist.
My book does say something about, Sid Kahem, but I don't know. Something strange is going on.
You two might not believe me yet, but like you said, you can't return home, and you need help. You'll just have to trust me this time. I can show you to the edge of the forest, and the two of you can go down and find help. And then I'll try to rebuild, I guess.
When he puts it like that, there's really not a lot of options. We can't go back, and staying here isn't really an option either. If we just play along, it'll eventually work out that no matter how far we walk, we're not going to get anywhere. He still is just like, it's forest out here. Oh my gosh. He's going to have an eye-opener when he finds the town, isn't he? I guess being as far away from here as possible would probably be in our favor, too.
Okay. I trust you, Fawn. We'll go with you.
He beamed at me. Seems that was the correct answer.
I don't get a say in this?
No, you don't.
Nope.
So, we follow the crazy man out into the middle of the forest. Sounds like an amazing plan, and one that definitely won't end in murder.
That's funny, coming from you.
Really, though, Leos looked kind of delicate up close. A pained expression, dark eyelashes, a slim face.
Hey, up close you aren't so bad looking.
That shut him up.
Actually, I wanted to ask, what exactly does that make you then? Why do they hire you?
An assassin, a mercenary, whatever I'm paid enough to be.
He looked away. Seemed like he doesn't want to talk about it. I pushed on anyway.
An assassin? They actually exist? Why?
To get rid of unwanted people. Why else? And right now, you're looking very unwanted.
Be nice.
You know, bodies are being dumped out here. Do you know anything about that?
Just full of questions, aren't you?
And you're not full of answers. I guess that's the end of his leniency. He answered a lot of my questions, though, which is surprising.
I'm finished with your wounds now. Try not to get any more dirt in them.
And here I was, thinking of smearing mud through my cuts. Thank you for your wisdom, O gracious one. How will I ever be able to repay you?
Will you actually be gracious? Graceful? Oh my gosh. Oh dear. Fawn looked away, embarrassed. I'm not great at dealing with people like him, but Fawn's definitely worse. I glared at him, but the cocky grin didn't leave his face.
They won't stop with just sending me. When I don't return, they'll just send someone else.
Then we need to get out of here before anyone else comes. Will you be able to walk? Do you want us to carry you again?
I'm fine on my own.
He tried to stand, but his legs were still unsteady. Finally, with only a little of our unwanted help, he stood up.
If you need to lean on my shoulder while you walk, you can. I don't mind.
I'm not sure I can bend down that far.
Oh my god. Short joke.
Fine. Don't complain when you end up needing my help.
What an asshole. Next to him, Fawn looked like a saint.
It's a bit of a walk to the forest's edge. We should leave now, before it gets too dark.
Fawn motioned in the direction that I presumed was the way we needed to go. For now, we'll follow him. Even if he might be slightly delusional, it's better than staying here. Especially now that we know that others could come after me.
Yeah. I think that's for the best.
Okay then.
Fawn looked at Leos with a concerned expression on his face. It was obvious just from the way he was standing that he was already struggling. I wonder, will he really be okay with a long walk? I want to help him, but he won't have a bar of it. He's way too stubborn. Fawn looks like a saint next to anyone. True. True. If I even try to reach out and steady him, he flings abuse at me. Whatever then, I'll let him struggle. If he really needs help, I want him to ask for it.
Hurry up then. Lead the way, Forest Fairy.
Forest Fairy?
And the assassin joins the party. Have Leos join you on the journey.
You prefer mouse, pipsqueak, runt?
How about his name? Fawn.
Glad that's settled then. Get a move on. Unless you want to be caught here. It'd be a laugh watching you two defend yourselves, though. Maybe we should stick around after all.
Poor Fawn. He really can't catch a break. I looked over at him apologetically. Why is Leos's attitude so bad? I'm not holding my breath, but it'd be nice if he could be a little bit friendly. We're doing all this for him anyway. At least he could show us some gratitude.
We don't have any supplies now, either.
I didn't think about that. What do we do about food?
We'll have to find water along the way, too. I'm sure we'll stumble across some fresh water, so if we can scavenge berries or something, we should be okay.
What about shelter?
I'm not sure. Hopefully, we can find somewhere under cover.
Less talking, more moving.
Yes, yes, Your Highness.
Okay. This is where we're gonna stop. I was waiting for the scene change. Okay, quick save. Okay. That is where we're gonna stop for the day. Fawn, listen to me. Drop him. Drop him. Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, we got a new member to our little party. A very grumpy, ungrateful member, but... nope. I don't know how to get around to the menus here. Codex. I don't know how to get to the main menu. I think I had this problem last time too. Oh no. There's gotta be a button somewhere, right? I gotta figure that out. But alright, we got a lot done this time. We had some cute moments and terrifying moments, and now we're stuck with an asshole. Okay. But it was a pretty good stream. Thank you for joining. Hopefully we'll start back up again on next Wednesday. We should definitely get to the next town next Wednesday, right? I really want to see what Rain's gonna be like when he discovers there is a town. Maybe put some cracks into his, him thinking that all the knowledge he's been given has been true. So, But I'm gonna go make me a big glass of tea. My throat's hurting a little bit now. But thank you so much for watching, and I would love to hear your comments, so please leave a comments down below if you like this, and who do you like so far? What are some of your theories? If you played the game, I do not want any spoilers, but I love theories, so go ahead, and I'll see you next time.